easier it is to sell souls.
There is a new price on freedom, so buy into it while supplies last. Changes need to be made. No more curbside baggage. 7 p.m. curfew. Racial profiling will continue with less bitching. We've unified over who to kill, so until I find more relevant scripture to quote, remember, our God is bigger, stronger, smarter, and much wealthier. So wave those flags with pride, especially the white part.
We're selling addictive 24-hour candlelight vigils in TVs. Freedom will be defended at the cost of civil liberties. The viewers are glued to television screens, stuck, cause lots of things seem too sick. I use opportunities to pluck heartstrings for theme music. I show you which culture to pump you.
Hello.
Welcome to the Grift.
Adjust my seat a little bit.
Yeah, we're adjusting.
We're adjusting.
All right, where are we in frame? Cool.
We're in frame.
All right.
This is how we do.
I'm the River now.
Gonzo.
It's been a week. It's been 2, actually.
It's been 2, yeah. I think my AC is actually fixed this time because they actually shut all the power off to the unit.
Okay.
To do the work.
That's a plus.
And it didn't used to be able to get the temperature down below about 75, no matter what I set the thermostat to.
Uh-huh.
And when I came in that first day, it was like barely at 70. It was fucking cold in here.
Wow.
It was chilly.
Nice.
I don't like to keep the thermostat that low.
Okay.
Not.
What do you set it at? What do you usually?
I actually set it higher than most people. I keep mine right around 78.
Okay. Gotcha.
Just below 80. As long as it's not too humid and it's under 80 degrees, I'm happy.
For a man who likes it chilly when the weather turns, like I would expect
I have low body temperature. So like unless it's really hot, I don't feel it.
Gotcha.
So I can get comfortable pretty quick.
Like, the weather gets down into the 50s and shit. So
I like being able to wear like a long sleeves and
gotcha. That makes sense.
Comfortably and
okay. I generally like the Florida heat, but I like to be air conditioned indoors, comfortably so. Like,
I don't want to be British about it.
Also, what is it with every place in this state having like businesses having like the most ridiculous AC, particularly grocery stores?
It's like 64 degrees.
Yeah,
it's like going to a hospital.
I dress like I live in Florida, and then I go indoors someplace, right? And I'm freezing my ass off. Like,
and your glasses fog up.
Yeah, go into a grocery store, go to Publix, and like, oh my god, I'm just fucking freezing.
Publix does keep it chilly. The Wawa down the street. It's like I can't imagine they keep the thermostat above like 68.
Jesus,
it's just fucking cold in there all the time.
Too much, man.
Which is great if I walk there and it's hot outside. It feels great once I get indoors, but
for like 5 minutes and then you're like, oh, this is cold.
There are times where it's been cold enough in there that it's actually like kept me comfortable halfway back because I just haven't warmed up yet.
Oh man, so nothing's happened, right?
Nothing of import.
Nothing. No, there's no news cover.
Nah, nothing. We didn't miss anything in the last 2 weeks.
nothing, right? But apparently Trump's big ass ankles, his fucking cankles are. They're within normal limits apparently, but even though it's like this, his blood work.
They are probably within the normal limits for someone dying of congestive heart failure. Yes.
Yeah. We've reached the Kim Jong-un like era of the presidency.
Yeah, we're gonna be told that he doesn't poop and that every time he golfs, he scores a perfect 18.
They did another one with his, like him winning a golf tournament like that he made up the other day. Like it was insane.
He stole a FIFA trophy.
Yes. Oh my god. That if you haven't seen anything about that FIFA debacle, like it's
fucking embarrassing.
It is absolutely.
It's genuinely embarrassing.
Right.
Like it's. I felt embarrassed for him. That's how bad it is. I'm like, oh, is he okay? Like that's what I'm asking myself, is he okay? I know he's not okay.
He's not okay. No. And that's so. Like he refused to get off the stage when they tried to bring in the team. He was already out there celebrating and doing celebratory dances before the team.
I don't know that they really intended him to be on the stage in the first place. Yeah. Like he just sort of showed up,
right?
Which all right. The president, knowing what security is like for the president. Mm-hmm. They should not be able to just show up.
Right.
Ever, anywhere. Like, that is an ordeal.
When they do show up, it's a nightmare for everybody.
So, like, I can't imagine what Secret Service must have felt when he, like, fucking forced his way on stage and then wouldn't get off.
Right.
Surrounded by, like, people that, like, they can only vet them so well.
Right. And
he's putting himself in a situation they can't control necessarily. Like, he's already allegedly been shot at once. Allegedly. Well, somebody was shot.
Yeah. I mean, the way they talk about that thing being divine providence and shit, and the more they bring it up constantly, the more I think it was just a setup. Like a plan.
I think it was a setup. I think that if it wasn't a setup, that, like, at most, maybe I could see, like, just the velocity and the change in air pressure of a round, high velocity round like that going by your head but not hitting you, like maybe rupturing your eardrum and causing bleeding.
Well, it went through that teleprompter, the glass teleprompter thing. I think it was just shards of glass. Like,
but because he definitely did not get his ear shot.
No.
He would not have an ear.
No,
that would have taken off like half his ear at a minimum.
Yeah, it looks like the shards of that teleprompter thing cut him.
Because it was probably like that plastic clear acetate, which when that shit shatters,
it's sharp.
It is razor sharp. I have accidentally cut myself on that shit back when I was working at the candy store. That's what all the candy bins were made of.
Yep, and those little shards would be moving at 150 miles an hour after hit.
Yeah,
right.
At least,
that immediate impact. They just. Right?
So that could definitely cause bleeding.
Now, I don't mean to be conspiratorial. I don't care. Like, if the kid intended to shoot him, he should have done better.
A little bit of range time goes a long way.
Yeah.
Use the right tool for the job,
right?
Too. Like
what
are you doing?
You use the wrong caliber, no scope at a distance, and this is what happens.
All I can say is anybody with competence would have made that shot.
Yeah, but they should have used
your target is standing still out in the open. You're not that far away.
No, I mean, he should have again. Wrong tool for the job.
Right.
Like,
and now sometimes you can only get your hands on a tool.
Yeah.
You use what you have.
But
you make do.
In that case, more range time and maybe a scope of some type. It doesn't even have to be a big scope.
Yeah,
I understand
just
you're
something
worried about
to give you
scope glare, but like
a cop saw him. Yeah. I don't think he had to worry about scope glare.
Right. But
the cop who climbed the ladder he climbed up on the fucking building with looked at him, saw him with a gun, climbed back down. Meh.
You know what? The real hero that day was that cop. Like,
we don't say that often.
Yep. I don't. Nope. I do not often say that. But the real hero that day was that cop.
I can't believe that it was like just last week was the 1 year anniversary of that. It was like a few days ago. I think it was the 13th was the 1 year anniversary. What? First of all, I can't believe it's only been a year and it feels so much longer ago.
That's
at the same
because
time.
Every fucking day is a new month of news cycles. Speaking of news cycles, because we missed recording last week, I think it was like dropped like that day or the day after. There's absolutely nothing to see here.
That was the Sunday after.
Okay.
She did that Sunday night into Monday morning.
My God.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't noticed, apparently there is no Epstein list. Epstein definitely killed himself, and now there's video, but it's not.
It's
great quality.
My favorite thing is like at first they were like this is the raw video, and then somebody noticed the metadata and was like, well no, it's been edited, and they're like, well yeah, there's a minute missing because the camera has to reset itself and rewind once a day, which doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
When it's all digital. And then you find out that it's like, oh, it's more like 2 minutes 53 seconds missing,
right?
That we can't account for, and like it doesn't actually look like video from where he was held.
Like none of this makes sense. And if there wasn't a video 6 years ago,
why is there suddenly one now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's proving the old adage that the cover up is worse than the crime. True, again and again and again. That's what took down Nixon and Watergate.
Yeah.
The crime itself, I mean, it was a crime,
but
it was the lengths he went to cover up the crime that fucked him over.
Yeah, I mean, his couple of goons could have gone down in it.
He could have gotten away with, like, throwing a patsy or two under the bus.
Yeah, and instead,
I didn't know they were going to do that. They didn't do it on my behalf. They did that on their own.
Right. And, you know, and that was only because, again, the attempts at fucking Agnew to cover up his crimes embarrassed the office in the first place. Like, otherwise Nixon would have had the political strength to have stuck it out.
Yeah, it's
amazing. But the administration don't seem to think. They just do, and bank on their supporters backing them and pointing at every single critic they have and saying, "You're deranged, you're crazy, you're just out to get me." It's all personal.
Here's the problem, and this is at some point, no matter what, there is a point where cognitive dissonance reaches its breaking point.
Right.
And people can't, in their head, rationalize two competing things anymore.
And
this is probably the one and only issue where you could have that happen to MAGA.
At scale.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's
like you can have
it's
for
not even-
individuals. Like
Right.
I've watched it happen for individuals before, where it's like, I mean, I know people. We know people who, like, it was within a couple of weeks of the inauguration, they were like, "I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't done that."
And you know,
And they lived in Florida, and it was going to go for him anyway. So, like, they weren't the deciding factor regardless, and they were still like, "Oh God, what did I do?"
there are these moments in time where I just don't. This is why I don't understand their administration, because they bank so hard on that cognitive dissonance, right? On their voters just falling in line to the point where Alex Jones is calling them a cult.
Yeah.
Like today, or was it yesterday? Within the last 24 hours, Alex Jones decided to call it cult-like behavior with the Epstein.
I mean, look
cover-up.
at the fact that you had, like, right in Tampa, all last weekend was the Talking Points USA, like, teen conference or whatever.
Right.
And everybody was like, Epstein list. By, like, 2 days later, you had Charlie Kirk being like, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I don't think it's important. We should probably just move on.
Yeah.
His followers and his listeners do not agree.
No, they're getting ratioed on their own fucking social media sites and in their own fan bases. And I mean, I can't blame it. I can't blame their audiences, because they spent the last 7 years just hammering over and over again about, like, there being pedophile elites, Pizzagate, QAnon. They're like, it's all intertwining, right? And Epstein happened after QAnon started, right? So
Which just validated everything they believed.
right, and they've been whipping this horse like crazy, right?
Particularly in the last election.
Yeah. And now, they just out of the blue, which, again, you talked about, it's an unforced error. Like, there was no need.
If Pam Bondi had not come out and said that there was no list, and absolutely and, like, I don't believe there's, like, a physical list of, like, Donald Trump on this date had sex with this 14-year-old.
No,
I've got it on video. I don't believe that. I don't know. Bill Clinton diddled a 12-year-old on October 14th. Like, I don't believe there's a list like that.
I've never believed it.
I don't believe there's, like, this dossier, like, where he's written down everything. It's like, this is how much Woody Allen paid me to not release the tapes of him fucking a child. Like,
Right.
I don't believe that's a thing, because
I believe he kept the evidence to a minimum, because obviously everybody involved would want the evidence at a minimum, right?
And he would want the threat of evidence.
Right. And
You not knowing what evidence he might have, because you know what you did when you were on his island.
Yes.
But you don't know what he's got proof of what you did while you were on his island, so you have to stay in line.
Exactly. And now he's got a bunch of transactions that went through Russian banks, and I'm betting are several steps of laundering.
Yeah, and,
right?
and if there is definitive documentary evidence, if there's, like, he filmed everything, that is sitting on a hard drive in Israel somewhere.
Right.
That is in Mossad headquarters.
Yeah.
And Benjamin Netanyahu watches it nightly and giggles to himself over what he gets away with.
I'm not entirely sold on the Mossad story. I
do not believe Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent.
No. I don't even know if Maxwell was. Her dad,
if anybody was.
Maxwell.
It was her.
But her dad was.
Her dad definitely was.
Right.
And then he just fell off his yacht out of nowhere and died.
Yeah.
Just one day.
One day.
Just fell off his yacht and died. Then he named it after his daughter. Because the boat was the Lady Ghislaine. Mm-hmm. Or however the fuck you say her name. I have heard her name pronounced so goddamn many ways, I don't know the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, this is why I only say Maxwell.
Ghislaine. Like, I don't fucking... And they all sound stupid because it's a dumb fucking name.
Yeah.
Who names their child that? A guy who's changed his name 15 times.
Right.
Because he was a spy for 40 years.
You know the guy from Fall Out Boy named his kid Bronx Mowgli?
Which dipshit from Fall Out Boy? Was it Pete Wentz or the other
Wentz.
one?
It was Wentz, yeah.
Fucking
Wentz. I caught this TikTok from a guy who used to be...
Wait, who did he knock? Who did he marry? He married like fucking Ashley Simpson or some shit, right?
Yeah.
God, what a fucking genetic stew that is.
But apparently at some party, like, this guy who he already had some beef with was like overhearing their conversation. They were in two different conversations, right? At this party where they knew each other. This guy who was like a producer and a manager who didn't like him, had some beef with him, like overheard him telling people this kid's name, and he turns around and he goes, "Oh, come on, quit fucking with him. They can't be your kid's name. So what's the kid's real name?" And he's like, "That is my kid's real name." He's like,
fun fact,
"What kind of piece of shit name?
Funny,
you asshole."
Funny,
like, calls him an asshole for naming his kid that.
Funny fact about that kid: every time it cries, it's to a pre-recorded backing track.
But that's...
Yeah, we're making jokes about 2010 now.
But yeah, so named his
Things were better then.
Named his fucking kid Bronx Mowgli.
Bronx Mowgli.
You got Elon out here naming his kid after fucking modem sounds.
The only child he conceived naturally, no less.
Yeah.
The only time he had sex with a woman who became pregnant was modem sounds, the human shield.
That's impressive considering how many kids he's had over the years. Like,
a lot of surrogacy, a lot of IVF.
Yeah.
I don't know at what point he broke his penis with a botched enlargement.
But we know that it happened.
We know that it happened.
And that's enough to know. God, yeah. So Epstein, that happened. There is no file. There is no case. Everybody needs to stop talking about it.
But man, there is a crash out.
Yeah.
Might not be there might not be a file. There might not be a case, but there is a crash out.
Trump calling all the people who still care about it his former supporters, like just
and weaklings.
Weaklings, yeah. People who went to
Bad
jail on
people who are
January
weaklings.
6th, they're like, I was arrested for you. What are you? What's
I nearly hanged Mike Pence for you.
Right? This is amazing.
I don't know that he's capable of understanding the damage he did to himself with this one.
Oh, and Republicans twice, once in committee, once on the floor, voting against.
That reminds me. Apparently, Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna have conspired to force another open floor vote on that.
It's
because Massey was the only one who didn't vote against it last time.
Yeah. This is like they're all on record, like wanting to.
Well, that's the thing. Last time they had the plausible deniability of saying, well, it was a procedural vote. We didn't want to give the Democrats the floor. This is just a straight up or down vote on that issue.
But so we're going to get the headline 3 times, right?
Yeah,
because
which is a bad look.
The first time was in committee,
yeah,
right? And it was just every Republican except one on the committee
who didn't vote.
Yeah,
I don't think he was there that day because they just skipped him in the roll call.
Fair. But like all but one on the committee voted to block it, so that went nowhere.
Yeah, that was the Rules Committee.
But we got 24 hours of that news cycle, that soundbite,
which was bad.
Which was bad. You know, Democrats attempt to get information released on Epstein. Republicans block it. Protecting child predators. Boom. We had 24 hours of that, and then we get the other procedural vote. which was on this topic.
Right. My favorite was listening to Marjorie Taylor Greene explain why she voted no. And she was like, well, you see, if we'd have voted yes, it would have allowed the Democrats to like have the floor for a while and talk about whatever they wanted.
Okay.
And like you still control the House. Like if they had brought something up for a vote, you'd still be able to vote it down. Like they couldn't have accomplished anything.
Right.
They'd have just been able to talk on the record for a while.
Why are you so afraid of letting your opposition party, that is the minority party, but still like a slim minority?
If they're so wrong, why are you afraid of letting them speak on the record so you can have a record of them being wrong?
Right. That makes no sense whatsoever. So we're going to get the third vote, and I'm sure they're all going to shoot it down. And that's going to be...
And the funny thing is, I know they're going to shoot it down after even Mike Johnson has come out and said, I think it should be released.
Yeah.
What? Because that's the thing. They all voted it down, and then a bunch of them came out and said it should be released, and I know they're going to vote it down again.
Mm-hmm. Because Daddy Trump is going to have a fucking shit fit if it's released. Because everything... And that's, again, the cover-up being worse than the crime, but cover-ups tell you one thing. That the person covering it up is worried about something.
Right.
Right.
You can't know for sure what.
Right.
But we know you don't cover up a thing that's not a thing.
Yeah.
That's not a cover up at that point.
Exactly.
Like if you're not covering up something, there's no cover up.
There are times in everybody's day-to-day life and they're going about doing things where you cover something up. And I don't mean in a criminal way. I mean, you're like, oh, we're just not going to talk about that.
Yeah. We're going to pretend that didn't happen.
Pretend that didn't happen. You know, fucking you own businesses, you hope the fire inspector doesn't catch something, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. All sorts of little things.
You hear somebody say the dumbest thing you've ever heard them say, and you just say to yourself, for their sake, I did not.
Right. Yep. That
I'm going to forget they said that because they'll feel bad if I remember.
We got all these little ones that you do all the time. You and I, we all know you don't cover something up or pretend you didn't see anything. Like, if you know there isn't something that you're worried about. Right? Like, oftentimes it's minimal, but in something like this, it cannot be minimal. We know that. We know that this is about a child sex trafficking ring run by a billionaire financier who just so happened to be connected to everybody.
Right.
Like,
who did, for years, name his best friend as Donald Trump, who also named him as his best friend. For like 15 years.
There's nobody more connected to Donald Trump, to Jeffrey Epstein than Donald Trump.
Right.
And I'm not saying he's more or less guilty than anybody else. I'm saying there's nobody that's more directly tied to this guy.
I am sure that there are people who did worse things more often on that island than Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like, you think about
if for no other reason, Donald Trump is actually just kind of a basic bitch.
Yeah, you can tell he's just got you could tell he does not have complex desires.
Yeah.
He's not weird about it.
No, he's
like he just wants, and he does it to do it. It's like, oh yeah, no, I was able to do that because I'm rich and powerful.
Yeah, I banged a young chick.
But you think about a guy like the sort of person who would get Nixon's portrait tattooed on their back. That guy would be into some weird shit.
It is well known that Roger Stone is into a bunch of weird shit.
Weird shit. Like shit that people who are in the kink scene are like, that's weird, dude.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And of course, every time the topic of Epstein comes up, unprompted, Roger Stone comes out like,
I'll sue you.
I'll sue you for defamation. Like, you weren't even mentioned. What are you talking about? Like,
the right's inability to avoid self-incriminating is fascinating. I actually had this happen to me in a small way on TikTok over the last few days. I made a TikTok about how if you're a MAGA chud and you come onto TikTok and you say MAGA chud shit, but you turn your stitches off,
right?
You're a coward. And this dude comes into my comments and he's like, how dare you call me a racist and a homophobe? I'm like, I didn't use either of those words, my dude. And then he just kept going, and he's like, "You accused me of being in the KKK." I certainly didn't do that, my dude. What else are you going to confess to in my fucking comments here?
The Brad Cooper effect.
Yeah.
Remember all those times? You're going to call me a racist and a Nazi, aren't you? Like, yeah, probably.
How dare you say I beat my wife? What? I said you didn't father her child. I never accused you of beating her because I have never seen the two of you interact.
Right. And so we know that Donald Trump, we know from his own admissions, right, that he has tendencies leaning towards femophilia, right?
Yeah.
Like,
he had to promise his daughter not to date anyone younger than her.
Right.
This is a story he told himself on Howard Stern's show, by the way.
Yes.
I had to promise every year she gets a year older and it gets a little harder.
Right.
He said this when she was 17.
Yeah. He said that when she was 17. He talked about ogling and staring at the girls at the beauty pageants.
I own it so I can just go back. No, men normally can't go backstage whenever they want, but I own it so I can do whatever I want while they're changing.
Yeah, and they were 15 years old at the time.
Often
14,
younger.
15,
this was like Miss Teen USA. They were like 13 to 16.
Yeah. So they were in that range, right? Mm-hmm. And now Epstein, as we talked, I think we talked about this way early in the show. There's Epstein had that. He had like catered to a couple of different types of tastes, right? One of them was, girls over 18 that looked younger, right? For, like just his normal friends, right? Yeah. Like, here's these parties, and he's
like, oh yeah, you want a 20-year-old who looks like she's 15? I can get that,
right?
And he would,
and then the inverse, he would get fucking 14-year-olds who looked like they were 17, 18, 19, right? And like, there would be these gals, and now. Again, there were those guys that knew Trump and used to party with him back in the 80s that I caught it from a Times of Israel story from back in 2016.
Okay.
Right? Where Donald Trump would host these coke-fueled parties with girls ranging from like 15 to 17 that a lot of the guys had a hard time, like guessing they weren't 21, 22, 23. Right?
Okay.
But like they looked like they were in their early 20s. But they were all underage. And they knew about it, and they used to party with him, and he'd have all these gals there that would sleep with him, with Trump and other guys there. Like, those were his parties back in the 80s, right? And now, thing is, this is not a defense. I'm saying it was weirdly more socially acceptable. It was still wrong. It was still criminal ish.
It's
right?
like I have said many times that when Winger wrote the song 17, that was an improvement compared to everybody writing their songs about 15 and 16-year-olds.
Right. And so
because in 1988, sadly, it was.
Right. So
I was there. I remember. I might have been 10. Yeah. But I remember.
So all those times that Trump talked about how great Epstein and partying with Epstein was and how close they were as friends, especially in those years, right? Like, it was a bit more socially acceptable for the girls to be young, quote unquote,
and he would always throw in, it's like, he likes them even younger than I do.
Right. And he liked them around.
You had to be told by your
17.
daughter not to date anyone younger than her.
When she was
17.
And, look, if they're over the age of consent, not my circus, not my monkeys. If they're in their 20s and you're whatever age, I don't care. Do what you want to do. But if they're in high school, man, like,
why you wanna bang somebody you got to help with their math homework?
All right.
I can't imagine like not being able to just walk into any building without like, oh, you gotta wait in the car. Sorry. I'm gonna go in here and have a good time. You have to sit outside. Right. Because you're not allowed in yet. I can't fathom.
I like my 20-something sometimes, but they're adults at least, for fuck's sake. But yeah, and Trump, there's a 13-year-old that accused him. Like, we've got a history here.
Yeah, like unambiguous literal children.
And he is more tied to Epstein than damn near anybody else on the planet. It's gross and
like,
weird. That the whole movement has been ignoring this. And they're like, release the list, and like you know who the top name on the fucking list is.
What blows me away is if you could go back to 2014 and tell anybody in MAGA any of this, they'd be like, oh yeah, he's definitely does that.
Right, because they didn't
He's
exist
definitely
yet.
a creep. As individuals, everyone would have been like, oh yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Yeah, in 2014, nobody, fans of The Apprentice would have been like, yeah, I mean, I like him, but yeah, obviously he's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's funny on the show, but of course he diddles kids.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense.
Nobody,
I would hate to see the show go off the air, but bury him under the fucking prison. I don't care.
Whenever I get accused of TDS, that Trump derangement syndrome, whatever the fuck they call it, I laugh because, I've been following news on this guy for so much longer than he's been, a politician, right?
I remember hating him in the 5th grade.
Yeah, I didn't like
I specifically remember a day in class where I told we were it's like a reading group or something, and I can't remember how he fucking came up.
His divorce was going on around that time when we were in
I
between
remember
4th and 6th grade. He went through that really expensive divorce.
I remember
and, all the crazy shit about it.
I remember telling my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Holland, and the other 6 or 7 kids who were in my my gifted and talented group,
right?
That I did not like. I did not like Donald Trump, and I didn't trust him.
Yeah, and now I was a precocious kid.
I thought he was too rich, and that made me uncomfortable.
I was a precocious kid, and I read a lot of Doonesbury, and they made fun of him all the time.
Oh yeah, I love Doonesbury
all the time in Doonesbury, and Bloom County, right? I read both of those. As a kid.
Bloom County is my favorite comic strip of all time.
And those 2 comic strips made fun of him all the time. He went through that ugly divorce. That's where we learned. That's where the first conversation about spousal rape I remember in my life came up.
Yeah.
Because...
And it was in the wake of that it was actually made illegal in 93.
Yeah.
Finally made illegal in 1993.
Yeah. In the wake of his divorce where he was accused of it. Right? And so I'd been following some news on this guy. Plus, I am drawing a blank as I've gotten older. Names fucking escape me now, right? But there were a couple of older, muckraker reporters in New York and D.C. that, reported on, corruption that went local to national, right?
Yeah.
Or local to international,
yeah.
Things like that. And a lot of local New York mob stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And Trump's name came up in a lot of their reporting back in those days, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
he was corrupt as fuck, and everybody knew it.
He was corrupt as fuck way back in the day. So I always knew he was this shady fuck who, and then the Apprentice rehabilitated him, but because he fucking bankrupted.
What's funny is it rehabilitated him by making him look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I know, right?
Here, by the way, did you know that since you mentioned Bloom County, did you know that it actually made a comeback about 6-7 years ago?
I did.
Did you know that Opus was just detained by ICE? That's the current storyline. Opus has been detained by ICE.
Wow.
The last strip I read was him being interrogated.
I only read a couple of the comebacks because but I'm gonna have to.
It's still going strong. It's all on Berkeley Breathed puts it all on his Instagram.
Okay, I am going over to his Instagram now after the show because that's amazing.
Opus has been detained by ICE. Steve Dallas is not happy about it.
Oh yeah,
Steve's mom is a big Trump supporter.
Oh, this is if you don't know Bloom County, it's a great comic strip. And Doonesbury, which it's gone now, was amazing.
Is it gone?
I think it's gone.
I haven't looked at a comic page in so long. I don't even know what's. I don't even know if we have comic pages anymore. Now that I think about it,
I haven't gotten a newspaper in 10 years.
People always leave the Sunday Times at the bar.
It's more than 10 years since I've gotten a newspaper.
But I never look through it, and it's mostly just people fighting over who get to do the Sunday crossword puzzle.
I used to be a newspaper guy.
Yeah, I stopped when I moved here. But we got the Philadelphia Inquirer and the Wilmington News Journal delivered daily.
I got the newspaper from
The only day we didn't get delivery was Sunday. We had to go out and pick that up because it was the big Sunday paper for the week.
I was getting my papers delivered off and on, times where I didn't because I moved or things like that. But from 97 to 2010, I think. Yeah.
They're both good papers. The Philly Inquirer in particular was a good paper. Really good, solid reporting, good investigative journalism.
But man,
Still going strong.
Yeah. Doonesbury, great. Bloom County, excellent. Now that there's more of it, go read it. I will be.
Yeah,
I forgot about it again because it came back with the Trump era.
Yeah, I think he started up again in like 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, because of Trump.
Yeah.
So no, I've hated Trump forever. Like, I knew he was crooked.
Like since childhood.
Right, and now that people are like, you didn't care about him until he ran for office. No, I really did. Like,
I didn't consider him a threat until he ran for office.
Right.
Like he wasn't.
But when he came down from that fucking
there's a
golden
lot
elevator,
of people I hate who I don't have to worry about because they're not the fucking president.
Yeah. And when he came down from that golden escalator, fucking quoting Charles Lindbergh, right? Like,
right. Who? I don't know that enough people understand Charles Lindbergh's history with the National Socialist Workers' Party of Germany.
Yeah.
Big Hitler guy.
Right.
Big. Loved him some Hitler.
But this, like, the America First, immigrants are coming for you. They're the things that he said in his announcement.
Yeah.
Like, reminded me of rhetoric that I thought we had moved past.
Wasn't Lindbergh instrumental in staging that giant Madison Square Gallery?
Madison Square Garden.
Nazi rally in, like, was it 36?
Yes.
37, somewhere or other?
It was. He was instrumental in that.
Yeah.
And he was a speaker at it.
The American Nazi Party.
Yep. And the German American Bund. Ugh. Yeah. So, I mean, we had a history with, Nazism and the Know Nothing Party, and Trump's rhetoric from the get-go harkened back to both of those movements.
Yeah, like day one.
And it was like, he's a piece of shit. And there's his racism. I always knew he was a little bit racist because, again, I knew about the DOJ coming down at him for racial discrimination in his fucking hotels, his casinos, and his
the apartments.
housing.
Yeah, the housing that he owned.
Right. Like, we knew about this. And you didn't pay attention to him until he ran for office. And he was saying things that allowed you to feel confident in the fucking bigotry in your soul.
Yeah.
That's the difference between us.
Here's something I have come to realize, though. I'm a straight white guy. I don't know that that's any surprise.
No.
I'm a straight white guy. If I were not inclined to hyperfixate on politics and the news, I could have gone my entire life never needing to care because it never felt like it directly impacted me. The only event that every straight white guy was forced to know about in the last 40 years was 9/11.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't avoid 9/11. You had to confront 9/11.
Crisis, I guess.
But you could in any other circumstance, you could always just ignore the fact that politics were the reason that whatever was happening to you was what was happening to you.
Yeah.
You could always just not be informed. And I think that's
national events to
that's
really
how we ended up here, because you've got this huge demographic that at no point in the history of this country has there ever been or will there ever be a law put forth to specifically target straight white dudes negatively.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. We are the only demographic you can say that about.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
the only one.
And it will take a lot of demographic shift for that to ever change. Because even though we are on track to become majority as a country,
we'll still be 49% of the population.
Yeah.
White people will still be 49%
yeah.
of the population, which means white dudes will still be 20% or 24.5% of the population.
Right. And that's we'll
still be the biggest demographic.
Right. Tied with white women.
Yeah.
Right. And
they'll be a little ahead of us.
Yes.
It'll be more like 24, 26%.
Right. So white people will be the plurality demographic regardless, and white men,
and
will not lose their power.
No, because rights are not a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
Somebody else being given more rights does not take your rights away.
Right.
That's not how that works.
Yeah. Now, could there foreseeably be a future where, like, white people in this country are like 8% of the population fucking 300 years from now, and like Mexican Americans descendants are the dominant race, and now they hate us because we're assholes or whatever, or like
it's possible.
Yeah, sure.
Also, but
like,
more likely than not, likely than not, by the time we get to that point demographically, the idea of whiteness will just go away.
Right.
I mean, it was artificially invented. You've got all these European countries who did not get along, who had wildly different cultures. They were just what is... I don't know what that is.
All right, we're back. Little minor technical problem there for a second.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, there's so many things would have to go wrong for there to actually be a white genocide, but I'm rooting for it. I mean, at this rate, I think we deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, you know my stance on this. I've brought it up numerous times that I feel like that if somebody had tried at some point in the past, we would probably be better off because we would be more well-rounded.
Right. Like,
we would understand that, like, what oppression was.
Right.
And how to recognize it. Because right now, we just view every minor inconvenience of help, I'm being repressed. And you're not.
You know who's disappointing in this regard? Irish Americans.
They should know better.
Right. Because
you were oppressed.
They're a big chunk of that, like, but they have a bad tendency of, like, completely aligning themselves with chattel slavery. Like, in a way. Like, which... Wrong. You were not. You were very, very similar. Like in the your treatment, the indentured servitude thing, like the way you were treated back by the British. Like you were deeply oppressed, and then you got here, and you were also oppressed. Sure.
Faith and Bagada.
Right. All that bad.
Yeah.
But don't try to use that to be like, well, my people were slaves too. You weren't. But you should use that to be like, oh yeah, oppression bad. And, like, once we were conferred whiteness by society, like, our lot in life got drastically better while black people stayed down.
You know who doesn't do that? My fellow Irish Americans. Actual Irish people.
Yeah, the Irish. Like,
the Irish. Like, Irish living in Ireland, Irish. They don't do that shit.
Yeah, they're weirdly, like... Now, again, like, obviously, individuals may vary, and, nothing is ever...
Oh, there are racist Irish dudes.
Yeah, lots.
They're out there.
Yeah. But as a country, like, they're... Like, the polling, right? They're, like, vast majorities of them support fucking freeing Palestine, and...
Like, aggressively in a way that most of the rest of Europe doesn't.
Right. And they have seriously, like, either their attitudes towards racism in Ireland are, like, really aggressively anti-racist. Like, great. I love that about them. Which, I don't know, makes a bit of sense considering, now... And
then they were one of the last groups of people to be let into the group of white people in this country.
And, Europe has this weird relationship, too. Like, whiteness was created as a...
And I've said this before, but what we call white supremacy... culturally speaking, is English supremacy.
Yes.
It was the English and the fucking Dutch.
But yeah,
mostly the English.
Mostly the English.
I mean, the French think they're better than everybody, but they think about it in a very French kind of way. It's like It's not a racial thing. It is a cultural thing. They think they are culturally superior to all other peoples.
And it's a bit of a Christian supremacy, a Eurocentric Christian supremacy that started that way. Like, everyone else was savages, and they were not, right?
Until they converted.
Right, until they converted.
And then it was like, oh, you're one of us now. Like, the Catholics, for all of their fucking shit, as soon as you converted, oh, you're a Catholic now.
Yeah. But, like, true racism, as we know it today, like, white versus everything else, was invented to defend and morally support slavery.
Yeah.
Right?
Atlantic slave trade, chattel slavery. Like, we have to specify that because some of you people will be like, well, they had slavery ever since people have been people.
Yeah.
We've been. It's different.
It's
different.
And in some cases, it is the same. Look, the Bible is full of chattel slavery. You motherfuckers don't even know that. But full of it. It's not talking about a different kind of slavery.
No, because there was a distinction between like, oh, your slave's an Israelite or your slave's not an Israelite.
Yep.
How you treated them was different, biblically.
And the Israelite slaves, their children got to be people.
Yeah.
And the non-Israelite
your children got to be slaves.
Yeah. Which is chattel slavery.
Yeah.
At its worst.
If slavery is passed down generation to generation, that's chattel slavery.
Yes.
Definitionally.
And so, whiteness is this fucking European concept that revolves predominantly around the English and around Christian concepts of power dynamics with savages and
Protestant.
others. Protestant, yes.
Protestant.
Right. And
you fucking Calvinists, you.
And it supports colonialism and everything else. And that's, like, we're not fucking better or superior. In fact, we're fucking genetically weaker. Like, one of my favorites, the history of, when I think about this topic, right, is, you know, there was a lot of discussion around how, you know, Africans were less evolved than Europeans.
Right. I've always remembered hearing that when I was a kid.
There was a lot of that until we discovered that Europeans contain Neanderthal DNA.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the research on Neanderthals, like anthropologically, shifted from talking about how savage they were and how unevolved they were to talking about how socially evolved they were and how smart they were and how communal they were and how friendly they were, right?
Speaking of...
While that may or may not have been true, nobody cared to talk about or do the research on it until we figured out that Europeans had
Neanderthal DNA mixed in there.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden...
Although we do know they buried their dead. We know that they made art.
Yeah, they may have. It actually probably is true that they were more peaceful than us.
I haven't had the time to. Speaking of which, I haven't had the time to dive into the study, but they have done some recent genetic studies across populations, and it looks like that there is a link between the prevalence of autism spectrum disorder and the level of Neanderthal DNA in a population.
Could make sense.
I mean, you think about like how we think they culturally interacted with one another.
Right.
It sounds more autistic.
And
if you think about the prevalence of like the cohorts of people who you see higher incidences of it in,
it's European.
It's European people, European backgrounds.
Yeah, like, which, you know, there could be cultural and social differences as to why we're not detecting it, right?
And it's also one of those things like, it's only considered a disorder because it's different than what the standard culture has developed to promote.
Right.
Like, you could just as easily have had a situation where it's like, what we call autism spectrum disorder and neurodivergence now could have been neurotypicality. And people who weren't artistic were the ones who were seen to be disordered. Like, that could have happened. That could have just as easily happened, even though, you know, we do represent a smaller percentage of the population.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, hey.
What?
Just a sidetrack. Looks like Third Circuit Court of Appeals is going to get one of Trump's former defense attorneys, who happens to be a big MAGA guy. That's great. All the Democrats on the Senate panel walked out. Refused to vote.
Is this Emil Bove?
Emil Bove.
Yeah, he's... even a lot of conservatives are uncomfortable with him.
He's a chud, from what I can tell.
Yeah, he's a baby bork.
God.
He's a baby bork.
Oh, I miss the day when we actually asked judges questions about their judicial philosophies, and we stopped pretending that these people are like tabula rasa. Like, there's no blank slate.
Hey, at least the churches get to start endorsing candidates from the pulpit now without losing their tax-exempt status.
Yep.
We're not going to be enforcing the Johnson Amendment anymore. You're very loud.
You are very loud.
Stop chewing on my pants.
I think I'm going to take her for a quick walk.
All right.
All right.
I'm thinking maybe next week before we start recording, we come up with a topic.
We haven't had a topic.
We haven't had a topic in a while, and I'm realizing every time we come back from break, I'm like, well, we talked about the news, and
actually, we skipped most of it. We talked like about 3 things.
We rambled.
We rambled a lot today.
But we used to have focus.
We had focus.
We had focus. There was a time where we had focus.
Yeah.
And I feel like it made recording easier. Editing is always easy, but I feel like it made recording easier.
That's true. Oh. But speaking of...
Just realized I'm about to wear a hole through the heel of these shoes. I have to get some new ones soon. I don't even wear them for work.
So, Trump diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, a minor vein condition, after noticing swelling in legs.
He is dying of congestive heart failure.
Yeah, let's be real.
Like, I know how he dies now. It's congestive heart failure. Like, I saw his ankles.
Yeah.
I worked at a hospital long enough to know what that means. We were a stroke center.
Right?
Like, I saw a lot of edema and a lot of swelling and a lot of water retention and a lot of back of the hand bruising from IV drips. I know what that shit means. And, it can take years to die from that. I'm not saying he's going to drop dead today. Or tomorrow. It can take years.
Yeah, my stepfather was diagnosed with that, and they're like, it could be a decade. It could be a decade. It could be any day now or a decade.
He is at least at some speed dying of congestive heart failure right now.
And since he doesn't exercise and doesn't eat well at all.
Hey, sometimes he has the fillet of fish instead of the Big Mac.
Yeah. So speaking of news, NPR and PBS have had their funding zeroed out. Now.
Yeah. And this also... in a lot of rural areas in particular...
That's what I was... Yeah.
This will also do away with emergency alerts.
Yes. So whether or not you believe that PBS and NPR deserve federal funding, whatever, right? The non-commercial media ecosystem and journalist ecosystem is basically like anchored by those two organizations. And
if you like...
rural access to the news, to emergency alerts, to etc. Like,
it is...
You zero these funds out, big cities are still going to have NPR and PBS.
It is not in the interest of the Republican Party for their rural voters to get news from anywhere but AM radio.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Because AM talk radio is doing great, and it's free.
Because it's trying to sell you supplements that are going to kill you.
Super malvitality.
Did you catch the story of the gal who almost died from turmeric?
Turmeric. Yeah. I didn't look into the details of that, but I heard it, and it was
a lot. Like the pill and the recommended dosage on the bottle was like lethal doses of it. Like, it was insane.
Anything can kill you at a high enough dose. But remember that.
That's the lack of regulation in the supplement industry, like being able to make claims that they shouldn't make, right? Yeah. Like,
well, they're not allowed to make claims technically.
Yeah, but they can suggest things.
They're not making medical. We know the LD50 for essentially every single substance on Earth.
Right.
Keep it below that. Like,
right.
I don't... Oh, just speaking of things that are straight up murder people, did you see that, like, there's Pain Quill now, which is basically just a bottle of liquid acetaminophen from the fine people at Vicks? Pain Quill? Pain Quill. It's Tylenol in a delicious cherry flavor.
What? No, seriously. Are they
from the people who brought us NyQuil and ZQuil and DayQuil, PainQuil.
Are they just trying to kill people? Like,
at this point, I hope so.
Like, okay, jeez. If you don't know the difference between like a safe dose of Tylenol and the LD50 is very small.
A fatal dose of Tylenol can be as low as 3.5 grams.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I worked at a hospital. We treated a lot of Tylenol overdoses because it's a really popular way to try to kill yourself. This is how Tylenol overdoses work. You overdose on Tylenol. Mm-hmm. You get violently ill. Mm-hmm. You throw up like crazy. And then you feel better.
Right.
And then you feel better. You're like, oh, I feel better. I shouldn't have tried to kill myself with all this Tylenol. And then 3 days later, you die from the liver damage that Tylenol did to you that you didn't feel.
Right.
Because you feel better. And then you just fucking drop dead.
I remember reading that was one of the number one, causes of medical error deaths, which are one of the leading causes of death in the country, right?
I was working, I was a pharmacy tech. Mm-hmm. That's what I did at the hospital. One day I was up on the floor and I was watching a nurse pull pain meds for a patient on one of the units. Mm-hmm. And I saw that she was pulling a hydrocodone 500 hydrocodone Tylenol mix. And it was 500. So it was 5 milligrams of hydrocodone, 500 milligrams of Tylenol. Mm-hmm. And I noticed how many she was giving the patient. Mm-hmm. She was pulling 3. Okay. And I noticed how many times a day she was supposed to be giving the patient this dosage if needed. And it was I think it was Q6 or something like that. When I did some quick math in my head and I thought to myself, I said to her, you realize that you're giving him 7,000 milligrams of Tylenol a day if you give him that dose every single time. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to. She's like, yeah, it's fine. The doctor wrote the order. And I'm like, it's 7 grams. So I went back down to the pharmacy and I went to the pharmacist and I said, hey, can you look at this patient's order for me? Because they're being given up to 7 grams of Tylenol a day. And we don't do liver transplants here. This is not like us creating a future patient and upselling them on a new liver. We don't do that shit here. Maybe look into it. So the pharmacist was like, oh, yeah, that's a problem. Contacts the doctor. Oh, that's fine. They just let the order stand. I stopped asking questions because I didn't want to know anymore after that point.
It's my understanding that pharmacists go through all that school and licensing so that they can be a check against doctors making errors. Any
given pharmacist knows more about general practice than any given specialist in any field.
Right.
They have to. They have to know every drug interaction. They have to know every safe dose. Mm-hmm. But when all is said and done, the doctor does have the final say. And if the pharmacist can't fight with them hard enough...
Wow.
Especially in a hospital.
I mean...
Where the specialists... Because I'm not going to name the surgeon who wrote this order, but I know what procedure was performed on the...
Oh, patient. Is this the guy that... Is this
it's the guy.
Oh.
It's the guy.
Oh, this guy.
It's the guy.
This guy's the devil.
I hope he's retired or dead by now. I haven't looked since I left the hospital. I'll get some backstory. There's this procedure called a BCIR. And basically what it does is it takes... For someone who needs an ostomy bag... Mm-hmm. Instead of having a stoma on their side with a bag that attaches to it that fills up, that needs to be manually emptied every once in a while, they take the patient's intestines and they build an internal ostomy out of their own tissue inside. Right. So there's no external bag. There's just like a stoma plug, and they can empty it whenever it's convenient for them. They never have to worry about a bag becoming too full. They just have to it's a convenient time for me to deal with this. I'll deal with this. Okay. And in practice, and in theory, it's a great idea. It's their own tissue, so there can't be any kind of tissue rejection. Mm-hmm. And best case scenario, it can be absolutely life-changing. Here's the problem with the BCIR. The BCIR, I don't know the name of the surgeon who invented the technique. It's a Barrett Condon internal ostomy. That's what BCIR stands for. So it was a surgeon named Barrett. Okay. And about 25, 30 years ago, he ran a conference where a bunch of surgeons were flown in, and they were taught how to perform this specific procedure. Okay. Yeah. And they were basically the only surgeons that were taught how to do this specific procedure. Like, if they weren't at that conference, they weren't taught. Mm-hmm. And... So I'm working at the hospital, and it's 25 years later, and the guy who's doing that surgery at the hospital, and we were one of the only facilities in the state that did it.
Okay.
We were one of the few facilities on the East Coast that did it. Some of our patients.
So that whole the way that surgeons kind of lock down their value, which is by only teaching a select handful of other people how to do the thing, and then every other surgeon after that also wants to be real greedy, and they don't teach a bunch of people how to do it.
One kid I remember in particular whose life we ruined with this procedure was from Massachusetts, and the doctor, the surgeon who was performing this procedure, was getting older and older and older, and there was speculation amongst some of the other staff that he was in the early stages of Parkinson's. And I don't know if you know this about your intestines, your small intestine, your large intestine. Doing surgery on that is like trying to do surgery on wet tissue paper.
It's very soft.
It's very soft. It's very thin. It's very pliable. It's very easy to tear. It's very easy to make mistakes. And he just would not train a replacement. Because every time he performed one of these procedures, and he would do up to 8 a day, $5,000. $5,000 of surgery. I remember one day he did 14 in a single day between 6 a.m. and the time he finished at night.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and he was basically the only guy on the entire eastern seaboard who could do it.
Yeah.
And he would not train a replacement, and there was a lot of speculation.
That's $70,000 in a day.
That he was in the early stages of Parkinson's because his hands were not as steady as they used to be. I watched him get less steady over my 7 years at the hospital.
That is dangerous and bad.
And like I said, I hope he's retired. He was like 65 then. Like when I got fired, he was in his mid-60s.
Greed and ego.
And that was 2017. So this was almost 10 years ago. I hope he's not doing it anymore because he would be somewhere in his mid-70s, and I can only imagine things got worse.
Yeah, so this guy was like, all his botched shit was responsible for you guys like giving out like more fentanyl than damn near anyone, right?
Yeah, okay. So HCA owned the hospital I worked for. My hospital used more Dilaudid than the rest of HCA combined.
Because of this one.
Because of this one guy. Because Dilaudid was his preferred pain medication. I saw people get a lot of fucking Dilaudid. They come in these syringe, these pre-filled syringes that you attach. You can either attach to a port. You can put an IV bag, or you can just do direct intramuscular injection. And they were like these 2 milligram, like long pre-filled syringes where you just put the needle on and go.
Right.
I remember days where I would have to refill 400 of them in a day around the entire hospital and all the medication dispensing machines. 400 a day. We used to get weekly. We used to get shipments in of these 2,000 a week. 2,000 2 milligram syringes of Dilaudid every single week. And when we got more Dilaudid in the next week, we were almost out.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
And it was almost all this one fucking surgeon. Because that kid from Massachusetts that I was talking about, now I can't name any names.
Right.
HIPAA and all that shit. He came back to, I think by the time I left, by the time he finally had his BCIR reversed and decided to just going back to have an ostomy bag, an external ostomy bag, I think he had 11 revisions where they had to go back in and tweak it a little bit. And every time he came in for a revision, he was there for like 6 weeks of recovery because they're opening your entire stomach. You can't eat, so you're on like a feed bag, like an intravenous feed bag, a TPN, one of those TPN bags for weeks on end. He came back for like 11 during my 7 years there.
I cannot believe
it. Ruined his life.
Yeah.
Like he became a crippling Dilaudid addict.
Oh, yeah.
He had to drop out of graduate school.
Like, shit, man. Like,
and then I found out when he finally got it reversed, less than 6 months later, he was already back in grad school and a straight A student, off Dilaudid entirely.
Yeah.
Like it completely turned his life around to not have this procedure, to undo this procedure that was supposed to completely turn his life around.
That kind of constant pain and suffering all the time, man. Like opioids would be the only solution.
Because I believe he had like an unusually bad case of ulcerative colitis. And his body just couldn't digest food properly.
Yeah, that's a troubling worry. I don't like to talk about
and
very much.
when he came in, I remember like his first time coming to the hospital. Like he was this really hopeful, eager, bright-eyed young kid. Had his whole future ahead of him, and by the time he finally had it reversed, total cunt. Just absolute horror to be around. Every nurse hated dealing with him. He was a monster because it ruined his life. It destroyed him. I didn't blame him. It sucked to deal with him because he was a pain in the goddamn ass. And he would there was a lot of. This is how much of an addict he was by the time it was ended. You would put when you rarely gave an entire 2 milligram syringe. Usually it was a partial syringe, and then you would dispose of the rest in a Sharps container. He would try to fish the partial syringes out of the Sharps containers to get just a tiny bit more.
I mean,
he's trying to stick his hand into a hole this big full of needles to get more drugs.
I mean,
we ruined that kid's life.
That is rough. That is awful.
Yeah.
Wow.
We killed a guy with a lap band procedure too. Now, we killed more than one person with lap band procedures. Never.
HCA kills a lot of people. Let's just be real.
It is the legacy of Senator Rick Scott.
Senator Rick Scott.
Murdering for money.
Yep.
You should be in prison.
HCA kills a lot of people.
Rick Scott should be in prison. Instead, the wise people of the state of Florida sent him to the United States Senate.
And I will confidently, without fear, say that HCA kills a lot of people because it's one of the largest hospital chains in the state. Medical mistakes are one of the leading causes of death in the United States.
Yeah.
And HCA has a bad track record of making more than most and getting caught and settling lawsuits on it. Mm-hmm. So they have killed more people than most, and I doubt they're doing that much better.
And I can attest to how bad they are at running a hospital, because when I started working at that hospital, it was owned by a different company called IASIS.
Okay.
And the pharmacy was actually run by Cardinal Health, as we were subcontracted. So I worked for Cardinal. I didn't even work for IASIS. But when HCA bought the facility, they bought out Cardinal's contract, and we all became HCA employees.
Okay.
I have never seen a work environment deteriorate more quickly in my life, because they are very strong believers in that particular management strategy where you keep your employees so miserable they don't believe they deserve better, so they stick around.
Yeah.
And they got to the point where it's except for St. Anthony's and Bayfront and All Children's, they basically own every hospital in the county.
Yeah.
They own Pinellas County. They own most of Hillsborough County. They don't own a few. They don't own Moffett.
Orlando Health is expanding now.
But I remember when the buyout was going through, and it came down to the hospital was either going to be sold to HCA or the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Because much like the Catholic Church, they like to own healthcare facilities. And the Seventh-day Adventists, partially because of the legacy of John Harvey Kellogg, are obsessed with weight loss and healthy eating. And because we were one of the largest weight loss surgery centers in the country, they really wanted my hospital in particular.
Okay.
And apparently, if they'd have bought us out, we would have all gotten pay raises, more time off, and the only thing we would have lost is bacon in the cafeteria, because they don't eat pork.
What a trade-off.
Yeah, no, I would have been. I would probably still be working there.
No, yeah, more. You would have been happier.
I would probably still. I came home genuinely suicidal every single night. I came home from work after HCA bought the place. You can ask anybody who knew me throughout the entirety of my time working there what it did to my quality of life when they bought that fucking place out.
That's a shame. But now you serve tea and it's fun.
Now I work 28 hours a week and make twice as much.
HCA, you're great. So there's outrage all across Africa, and particularly this tiny nation of Eswatini because we're just dumping immigrants there that aren't from there.
I don't know what the rest of the world can do to push back against this nonsense, but I really want to see the rest of the world just telling us no.
Yeah,
I really want to see the rest of the world forcefully telling us to go fuck ourselves.
What's wild is we're dumping like Jamaican and Cuban and Haitian. Like it's like,
hey, it's Africa. They're black. It works.
Right. I hate that you're right.
I know that is the full breadth of Stephen Miller's thought process.
Right? He's like, I'm sending them back to Africa. Fuck you, Stephen Miller. Racist goon. Also, reading the profile on him in high school and seeing the video clip of him in high school.
Yeah.
Like he's always been awful.
He was born a piece of shit.
Right? And like the fact that his parents apparently didn't weren't doing as well. Like they were rich and then they were less rich. So he went from private school to Santa Monica High School, which
did you know that they did the morning announcements both in English and Spanish?
Yeah, basically it was too diverse for him, so
Yeah.
it made him angry. Now, Santa Monica High School is the high school that pumped out like the entire Brat Pack
Yeah.
in the 80s.
This was not like some impoverished.
Yeah, and like he was there like 15, 20 years later, and so like the neighborhood's character had changed a bit, but it was still not an impoverished high school. It was just a diverse like public school that had like rich kids and poor kids.
It's still a town people write songs about in a good way.
Right. Because Santa Monica is kind of cool. It's diverse. Yeah. It's got its crime, and you don't want to go to the beach at night.
It's
right?
thought of it as nice.
Right. But yeah,
outside of like Pinellas County, I'm not going anywhere to the beach at night.
Right. Yeah.
Like I can do it here. I know I'm going to be the weirdest guy out there.
Right. But like, some parts of Santa Monica suck. Other parts are great. It's got character.
It's almost like it's a city.
Right. It's a place that's got character. But yeah, he went to Santa Monica High, and that's what angered him so much. Amazes me. We fired Maureen Comey.
We fired Maureen Comey. Why don't you tell the fine people who Maureen Comey is and why that's interesting this week?
Jim Comey's daughter. So this could be politically motivated, obviously. Boggaland has wanted to get rid of her for a minute. But she was a prosecutor on the Epstein case.
And the Maxwell case.
Huh. And she was fired this week.
Speaking of Maxwell.
Interesting.
She has been petitioning the Supreme Court to get them to overturn her conviction because she says that the plea deal that Epstein was offered in 2007 should apply to her in her conviction now. And the Supreme Court's just been sort of punting the issue, saying, we'll consider it later, we'll consider it later, we'll consider it later. She
has one of the best defense attorneys in the country right now.
The Trump administration has asked them to not consider.
Yeah.
At all.
But here's the fun part. She's hired one of the best attorneys in the country. Like, hands down, if you were, like, attorneys I know through social media, they're like, oh, wow, this guy, right? On top of that, they are basically threatening Trump without threatening him.
Yeah.
Like, everything they're doing is kind of signaling, like, you want to do something about it. You like, they are all but threatening him.
Yeah, and it also recently came out that apparently during his first term, he had to be talked out of pardoning her because he was apparently panicking about what she was going to say or what she might say. Mm-hmm. And his idea was, if I just pardon her now, she won't say what she might say. Oh, my God. He was apparently, according to insiders, was talking about how in the wake of her arrest, his life was over. It was going to destroy everything. This is the end. Full-blown panic. To the point that he had to be, like, convinced that pardoning her would be a worse look than letting her be convicted.
Yeah.
Because the idea was, even if she implicates you, we can spin it. If you pardon her, you're fucked. And that's the only reason he didn't pardon her.
Man, if he'd have pardoned her back... Oh, wow. That would have been interesting.
There's a part of me that wishes he had, because he probably wouldn't be president now.
Right. Like,
it would have destroyed...
They would not have been able to use the Epstein save our children bullshit like
No.
they did, the QAnon nonsense. Like, so that segment of the base would have been weaker.
And they were that was a segment that he was only able to strengthen over the subsequent 4 years under Biden. That like helped him get reelected to a second term.
So Trump has turned around and is starting to actually fund Ukraine right now. And what it seems like is that his love affair with Putin is coming to an end because Putin is making him look like a bitch.
I mean, he's making himself look like a bitch, but
right.
Also Putin is also making him look also a bitch.
Because basically, Trump is like calling Putin, having a conversation with him, coming back and saying, I've talked to him, and it's very pleasant, and they're going to end the war. And then Russia does more dumb shit.
Yeah.
And the war doesn't end. And it keeps coming back over and over and over again, making him look like a little bitch. And finally, their love affair is coming to an end. So that's fun.
I mean, it was inevitable.
Yeah.
These sort of like narcissistic psychopath types, they can form alliances for a while. And it can be a good long while. But it eventually always collapses. And while I would say Putin is exponentially more intelligent than Donald Trump, he's also like a malignant narcissist.
Yes.
Like that's unquestionable. He's just substantially smarter about it and substantially more capable of like forethought and looking out ahead of how something might impact him later that he does now, which is part of being smarter.
Pam Bondi's in San Francisco right now.
Why?
I feel bad. I'm going to text Gabs when I get out of here. Because Pam Bondi and a bunch of other Trump lunatics have arrived in San Francisco. And you know where they went?
Where did they go?
They went to the island.
Why?
Because they are trying to push the conversion of Alcatraz back from museum into a prison.
They had to physically ship in water every day.
Yeah.
It costs like 10 times as much per day to operate Alcatraz as a prison than any other federal prison.
Yeah. They want the optics of it. And it's like... Again,
but the optics are stupid.
The optics are stupid. Like, the optics of Alcatraz worked in the 30s to the 60s because...
Yeah, this idea that we've got a prison island we put the worst of the worst on, like...
Right.
From a PR perspective, it makes sense until you realize that you're not accomplishing anything beyond the PR of it.
Yes, and we no longer have...
At a great expense.
And we no longer have a period of time where we have, like, infamous criminals. Like, you know, when we were using Alcatraz, it was because there were mobsters who were untouchable and everybody knew who they were.
Yeah, guys like Capone and Machine Gun Kelly and those sorts of like, oh my God, this is the most famous criminal in the world type criminals.
People who came up from bootlegging from a period of time when the federal government was much weaker and we didn't
because it hasn't been true for like 30 years. It's easy to forget that there was a time in this country where everyone knew who the FBI's 10 most wanted were.
Right.
Every single one of them was a famous criminal. A lot of bank robbers.
Yes, like famous people. And also, there was like a folk legendary around them.
Yeah.
Like, so, one of the reasons
the whole Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Yeah, one of the reasons we created Alcatraz was for the PR of it and to, like, kill the folk legendary of them a bit.
Yeah, demystify them.
Demystify them. Because we... but also in a way that made them seem like more of monsters because they always had so much support, right?
Yeah, they have to be held here,
right? And they're so dangerous that you don't want to love Al Capone, right? But Al Capone is out there. Yeah, he was a dangerous, awful, terrible person.
Slowly dying of syphilis.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's like throwing large amounts of money around these old neighborhoods and looking like a big shot and like flipping off the prosecutors like the government's got nothing on me. See, right? Like. Yeah, so when they finally catch him for tax evasion, they throw him in one of the fucking hardest places you can.
For tax evasion.
For tax evasion. He was also in that prison in Philly for a little while. The one that's like dead.
Eastern State?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I did the tour of that place.
Allegedly the most haunted prison in the U.S.
What I love about it is actually like the whole thing now is dedicated to talking about like the like prison industrial complex, like the whole museum, like.
Well, you know, Philly knows.
Right? Like
Philly
thank
understands.
you, Philly, for understanding. Like now it's like we fucked up with mass incarceration.
They've turned what was like a moral blight into a learning experience.
Yeah.
Because the Eastern State Penitentiary was not where you wanted to go.
No. And it basically created like modern penitentiaries as we know them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, the idea of the penitentiary is a Quaker idea of all things. It was the idea, it's like it's called a penitentiary because you're supposed to be penitent. They would put you there to think about what you did in isolation so that you would decide to make more moral choices when you were let go.
Yeah.
We didn't understand psychology at the early 1800s, though. We didn't know you were breaking people and making things worse.
And often making worse criminals. Who knew? I mean, now we do, and we still do it.
But if you did not know where the word penitentiary comes from, now you do.
Yep.
It was for penitence.
Yep, and of course, Mom Donnie is doing really well, and Cuomo is looking like a fucking schmuck.
I did appreciate being able to tell Andrew Cuomo to eat my shit and hair on Threads the other day when he announced he was running as an independent.
Good for you.
It's
nice to just
Brianna Wu isn't on Threads, so I can't bully her there.
God, I hate her. I
know.
So much.
How much do you think she hates the new Superman movie? I haven't seen her take yet.
Oh.
You haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I have seen it.
I know,
no spoilers.
I know a little bit about why, and now when I think about it, oh.
Yeah.
But also the fact, the best part about it is, like, for the first time in the history of the character, the character created by two Jewish writers is played by a Jewish actor.
A very tall Jewish actor.
A
gargantuan 6'5" who is in the running for the best Clark Kent.
I hear that. Yeah.
He's a great Superman, but like he fucking nails Clark Kent. And the way that they are genuinely different characters that you can see him switch between in certain scenes, where he's like one and then the other.
I hear he does better than Chris Reeves. And Chris Reeves did
Chris
way better
Reeves was
than
great, yeah.
Like,
Cavill wasn't given anything to work with. I don't know. All right. I've never seen Cavill put into a situation where he really had to stretch his acting chops.
Right.
I don't know how good of an actor Henry Cavill is, for sure. Right. I've never seen him in a role where it's like he had to act.
Yeah,
he's always been Henry Cavill in a different costume.
Yeah, like I guess The Witcher he does a little bit more because he's got a lot of dialogue in that show.
He's got a lot of dialogue in that show.
Versus other things he's in where he does not. Right.
Right, but so I can't judge him as an actor.
You're right.
He wasn't given a lot to do, especially in that role. He scowled a lot. He brooded, which isn't scowling and broody is not how I think of Superman.
Yeah, no,
You want to portray Batman that way? Sure.
Like, I didn't dislike the movies. They were good movies, but not great Superman movies. Like, because they just didn't really.
I found myself surprised how bored I was by Man of Steel.
There were parts of them that were boring. Yeah. Like,
I think part of that is just I'm over Zack Snyder's style.
Yeah.
Where it's like everything. This is the amount of slow-mo. If you cut the slow-mo out of any given Zack Snyder movie, I'm convinced it's 25 to 30 minutes shorter.
And like the scene where like Superman shows up to like after Lois has been taken, right? It's this weird like tonal like boom. I'm just flying there, and it felt
when
so
he literally goes up into space and he's like Space Jesus pose.
There's that moment too.
Oh, and then he falls like you're being a little heavy-handed, Zach.
And like I get it, he was recharging and healing, blah 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 blah. But like I don't know. It felt a little like Zack Snyder being Zack Snydery. What I appreciated about that, which is if they'd let the DCU continue and hadn't flopped, they were definitely heading a Injustice Superman route, and the tone would have made more sense if they'd gone all the way.
And from what my understanding is that the end goal was to go through all of this and then have a Flashpoint scenario where by the time the entire thing is done and the entire, I think they had 7 films planned out for this saga, you would end up with Cavill being classic Superman, classic Golden Age Superman, but it was going to take 7 movies to get there. And that's a hard sell. Like, I understand that they were chasing the MCU, but it's really easy to forget that, especially Phase 1, the MCU was built surprisingly organically.
Yes.
Like, they could have kept making
They didn't
MCU
have an MCU
movies.
envisioned when they first made the first couple. Right?
No, like, they reached a point where they realized it's like, hey, we can do an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
And make it work.
So they really didn't have it fully envisioned. Yes, but you get the cameos. They wanted to do that.
They wanted
set
to
up
feel
the next,
interconnected, but like
the next movie they were going to make.
Iron Man 1 and the first Captain America and the first Thor and the Incredible Hulk, they are all standalone movies that just happen to take place in the same universe.
And they had an idea that they wanted to go towards making an Avengers movie, but they didn't know if they would.
They didn't know if they would get the chance.
Right. And so but then once they got the first couple of really successful blockbusters, they built off of that. But they also didn't give us like 3 movies a year. Like, we got less of, like, there was a period there we got way too much Marvel.
I am glad that all we are getting from Warner Brothers and DC this year is Superman and the second season of Peacemaker.
Right.
That's it. That's all we're getting. And then next year we get Supergirl in June. Later in the summer is when the Lantern show comes out.
Right.
And then next fall we get the Mike Flanagan written Clayface body horror, which
I'm here for it.
And I love that all of these movies are being allowed to have their own tones that are appropriate to the character. And that will make it really interesting when they inevitably do decide to make another Justice League movie. But it'll have been built up organically. I mean, the one problem with either version of the Justice League, either the theatrical version or the Snyder cut, is that like half the characters, that was the first movie we met them in.
Right.
Cyborg, Flash, Wonder Woman, like they're just Aquaman. They're all just there. Like, we didn't know any of these. Like, if you knew the comics, you knew the characters, but also like they were different from the comics in a lot of ways. So like you couldn't even like fall back on that.
From what I heard, there's a content creator that does comic book stuff all the time that I watch, and he did a no spoilers review of it. The one thing he said about this was that this Superman movie that we got felt like a no backstory necessary. They gave you just enough exposition of each character. Right? Here's the character. Here's what you need to know. Right? But not like it was an actual Superman movie, but a Superman-centered crossover comic book event.
Yes.
Right?
This is the way it was handled. This is the way it was handled.
And I don't want to know spoilers.
I'm not going to give you any spoilers. The movie does not tell you anything that the people living in that world wouldn't know. Like if the people who live in that world would know it, it doesn't explain it to you. Just like it just lets the story play out. It's like you're not like given this big exposition on like where the Justice Gang came from.
Right.
Like it doesn't explain how Guy Gardner became a Green Lantern. It doesn't explain who Mr. Terrific is. It doesn't explain why Hawkgirl is Hawkgirl who screeches and flies through it doesn't explain it. It's just like, no, these are people there.
Right. And you're given enough of the character to understand the character of the movie.
And when they show up, Superman knows them, they know Superman.
Cool.
They have interacted before. They obviously all know each other.
Which, great, because the setup for the Justice League, that was another weakness there. Because you get the like Bruce and the Bat know each other from fighting each other one time.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're on a mission to collect the rest because it's super important. Yeah. Right before they have to use them all. Like, I don't know. It
was sloppy.
It was sloppy.
But it's I love that it doesn't give us a Superman origin story. Like, it very clearly states in the first 10 seconds he's been 3 years ago he announced himself as Superman to the world. So he's been Superman for 3 years.
Nice.
I am
looking forward to it. Everything I've heard makes me happy.
Everything I wanted it to be.
And I like the idea of it not being, while it being a Superman movie, it's not really a Superman movie. It is a like comic book style adaptation
it is
of a crossover event that is Superman centric. So like
Yeah.
the crossover event that you would have in the run of Superman or the like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're getting a comic book, an adaptation of like a crossover event, a big event,
or even not a big event, but like because like
a mini event. Like
characters just show up in each other's comic books all the time in passing, like
Yeah.
because it's a shared universe, and it's like, well, that guy would be there.
But
Which
this one felt like it was like very centered on the crossover, so you could introduce the DCU from what I heard, and
it does just feel like a DC universe movie where Superman is the main character in this particular story.
Awesome. That I'm looking forward to
And
that.
man, the casting was good. Like the casting was good. Like everybody is perfect. Nick Holt is probably the best Lex Luthor.
I hear good things. Like and from every little clip I've seen of him, like that one of him with the coffee cup and the where's the dog?
Where's
like,
the dog?
That is like some next level hater shit that I just fucking love. And it harkens back to
Ugly Dog in a
Chris
Stupid
Reeve.
Cape?
Like the Chris Reeve stories. Like that Lex Luthor was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Making Superman cross boundaries and cross lines.
Yeah.
Knowing that he's going to be the one in trouble, right? Because, I may be the villain, but you don't know that. Like, there's this superpowered monster.
And he's not pissed off for all the things that happened leading up to that confrontation. He's not pissed off for any of that shit. It's where's the fucking dog?
Right.
Where's my dog?
Where's my dog?
Where's my dog?
I don't know where your dog is. What are you talking about? He gaslights him right there in the clip, and I love that. I don't know how it ends. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, you really need to see it.
But that clip right there, like that gaslighting while having your assistant record it, like this crazy motherfucker thinks I took his dog.
Why would I take your dog? What are you talking about? Like, stupid fucking dog.
This guy has. I didn't even know you had a dog.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But every character is good. Like even a dumb small character like Eve Tessmacher. You don't fucking think about her as a character.
No.
Fucking awesome in her own special, weird way.
I am looking forward to.
She is an integral part of the story.
That's good.
Through no actual effort on her own part. She's a linchpin in the story. No idea she's doing it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's James Gunn. Like, I know that a bunch of the Snyder fans are out there like, he's going to make it Guardians of the Shut up. Like, his writing style is not always the same and everything. Yes, he utilizes and encompasses humor, and he does a lot of absurd things.
You know what he didn't do in this? There are only 2 needle drops in the entire movie, and one of them is the montage at the very, very, very end.
Beautiful.
There is one fucking needle drop before that.
I'm actually kind of impressed because he is the king of needle drops.
Somebody actually asked him about that, and he said it was like one of the most interesting writing challenges he's ever had, because every other movie he's written, he has like had a list of songs that he wanted setting the tone for every scene. Even if he didn't use those songs, he went in and was like, if I could set this scene to any song, this is what it would be set to. And he's written every movie he's ever written, going back to like the Day of the Dead or the Dawn of the Dead remake and the Scooby-Doo movies. He's written them that way. Fucking all the way back to Tromeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
For Troma. That's something I need to go back and watch again just to see if there's a Lloyd Kaufman cameo, because he's been in every single James Gunn movie. At least for a fraction of a second. Because James Gunn credits him with his entire career.
That's,
for letting him write Tromeo and Juliet when he was like 22.
I mean, I get it.
Just a trip of a movie if you haven't seen it.
I got a friend who he stopped being, I don't know why, he gave up on his hopes and dreams because he was like a curmudgeonly guy, but he was one of the writers for the zombie chicken movie that Troma made.
Oh, yeah. What was that one? Was that Poultrygeist?
Yes.
Poultrygeist, yeah.
Poultrygeist, yes. He was one of the writers on
We've watched that at the bar a couple times. It's a good movie. It's fun. Stupid as fuck.
I miss you watching that.
It's stupid as fuck, but it's fun.
I have played D&D in an apartment that was full of set, like...
Nice. It's
props.
It's a real dumb fucking movie that I enjoy.
He had a writing credit on it. He went to the filming and was on set for a while.
But yeah, I'll say this for James Gunn. He's written some movies that he didn't direct that didn't end up as good as they could have because changes were made.
Right.
I'd say both Scooby-Doo movies are a case of that. I think Dawn of the Dead is a case of that. I've read his original script. It's better than the movie Zack Snyder made. Because Zack Snyder stripped out so much of the humor and essentially all of the social commentary.
Right.
But as far as like written and directed, James Gunn has not made a bad film yet.
No.
The worst, probably the least of his films is Guardians 2.
Yeah.
Which I still really, really like, but it's sloppy. And it's one of those movies that frustrates me because it's one of those movies where it's like you go through the entire story and you basically just end up with the status quo being exactly where you started.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's my biggest critique of his entire filmography. But like, Super is great. Slither is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
All 3 Guardians movies, Suicide Squad,
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos is great.
Although he's only a producer and a writer on it.
Yeah,
creator. Like
he's a show creator, but he wasn't even showrunner. But he did write like half the scripts.
Yeah, but man, it's fantastic. Like hands down, cannot argue. Like everything I've seen him do has been good.
He deeply, deeply understands the source material, and I think he's going to do a very, very good job of picking the right people to make the DC films going forward. Like I think, like having Mike Flanagan write a Clayface body horror movie, even though Flanagan's not directing it,
right?
Because he's going to be busy doing Carrie at that point for Amazon. But I think he's going to be very good at picking the right person for the right project. Like, I don't know what Batman we're getting as like as officially part of the universe, since I know it's not going to be the Batman.
Right. I am a little not confused. How would I put it? The Batman is continuing, but it's probably not going to be.
It's going to be kind of an elsewhere sort of thing, like the Joker.
But then there are 2 other Batman properties coming out.
Yeah, I heard something about there being like a Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, they're doing Brave and the Bold, and God, which is the other one? Damn it.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, but there's 2 specific Batman properties that are in the work, and I'm like, what are we? I don't know what's going to happen here.
I've heard rumors.
And a Teen Titans.
I've heard rumors that when we get the live action Batman, it's going to be the classic blue and gray, which we've never seen live action before, or like we've seen it in the fucking show, but like a real live action.
So
I'm hearing blue and gray.
That would be interesting.
Instead of like black tactical armor, because that's gotten old.
It has.
Like I want something new. You know what? I want big fucking ears on the fucking cowl. I want fucking on the fucking cowl. That's what I want.
I haven't looked at a Batman comic in a long time.
The absolute Batman run going on right now is fascinating because Bruce Wayne is dirt poor in it.
Okay.
He has no money to fall back on. He's been like poor his whole life. His backstory is still the same. His parents were killed, and he like witnessed it as a child. But like that led to him being impoverished, and he's just basically still figured out a way to become Batman. And he's 7 foot tall.
Okay.
And everybody else is bigger than him. Like fucking.
Wait, he's 7 feet tall and everybody else is bigger than him?
It gets fucking wild. Like some of the art, like,
all right.
Like there's like the Joker. He's like this. It's the Joker, and but there's like these like baby faces like coming out of his flesh, and it's fucking wild.
See, DC, I will admit, so DC is one
King
of those,
Croc is a literal kaiju.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah, like it's. I haven't read it. Like I've seen people talk about it on TikTok, and I am intrigued. I'm waiting for like at this point I'm going to see about the first trade paperback once it comes out.
Gotcha.
First collection.
So the DC universe, I will say, as far as comic book reading, like I read up until like the mid '90s, right? And
that's basically when I think most of us dropped out.
Like a lot of like mid '80s to mid '90s. Technical difficulties came in, so as I was mid thought about my comic book history, I have to stop because the camera has decided that it wants to give us an error.
Yeah, so I'll have to figure that out between now and next week. But in the meantime,
this is why you need to give us all of your money.
Yeah, no, we need to be able to like afford real studio facilities so that, yeah.
because
We need a studio. Studio.
Yeah. So this has been the Grift on the Rev Now.
And Gonzo,
Give us all your fucking money.
see you next week.
Bye.